Sometimes things don't go as planned, but that doesn't mean we throw in the towel. It means we fix our boat, we call upon our ancestors, and we get back into the water and we go and save our village. Hey folks, so I'm making a video today about sort of what I want to cover on this channel, what I want to talk about, because honestly, up until fairly recently, I was pretty confused about that. I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in. I really didn't know what I wanted to talk about. And now I am feeling a little more confident in that. Not 100%, but I'm feeling a little more confident. I want to use this channel as sort of a vlog for my process in getting my life together, you know, my process as an artist, my process as a person, my process as a parent. I know that sounds like a lot, but it is a lot. And I want to be honest about that process, because I feel like a lot of the times when we see people who are successful, we've caught them in a point of their life where they figured out all of this other stuff that I'm still figuring out. So I wanted to sort of document this process, what my process has been like, and talk about it, because that's the stuff that's inspiring to me. I like to see what people's process is. I like to see what their routines are. I like to see how do they problem solve when they run into trouble, when they can't get something done, right? That's the stuff that fascinates me. And I don't see enough of that. I see a lot of, this is my tips for waking up early. This is and we don't see enough of, how did you arrive at these tips? How did you get there where you felt like, now I can talk about this because I went through all these problems and I had to problem solve and I had to figure out what works for me as an individual. So this is just a short little video, I hope. I got a lot of feedback from some very dear friends who watched my video and were like, it was really long. And I agree. And I really want to strive to keep these, under 10 minutes moving forward. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how I arrived at this. I am sort of a late bloomer in terms of a lot of things. So I turned 32 in October, and I don't feel like I had a solid breakthrough, like that breakthrough of, I need to make changes, or I need to change my life, and I need to start trying, until probably my 30s, I would say, early 30s. And I can pinpoint the exact moment that happened for me. And it was probably, well, this is probably the culmination of a lot of things happening. Like, there's a lot of stuff that came before this that sort of mentally prepared me for this moment, but it was kind of a funny story, so I will tell it. You have probably heard, unless you are living under a rock, you've probably heard of the Disney movie Moana. Well, I watched that movie with my kids after it came out, and I couldn't get through it without weeping hysterically. Like, not like a tear rolling down my eye. Like I would weep every time I would watch this movie. And my only sort of justification for why that is because that movie sort of hit home something that I was just starting to discover about life. That movie, for me, hit home to something that I was on this journey of discovering about myself, about life. And for me, that was that sometimes things don't go as planned, even if you're doing the right thing, even if you are trying as hard as you can, even if your heart is in the right place, sometimes things don't pan out. And that's okay. And that was the big discovery for me. And that's okay. I lived most of my life being a perfectionist, but being a comfortable perfectionist, right? So, well, I'm a perfectionist, so if this isn't going to come out perfect for me, then I'm not even going to try it, right? And so what ends up happening is that you sort of are just like doggy paddling in place your whole life. You're just treading water and not moving, not making progress, because you're too afraid to fail. Because you're too afraid that it's not going to be perfect, that you're not going to get it done the first time. So what's the point of even trying? And I feel like that theme has kind of followed me my whole life in terms of, you know, things that I would start, projects that I would start that I would never finish. And I would always use the excuse that, like, well, it's not going to be the way I want it to be. So what's the point in even finishing it? It's like, you got to finish it, right? Sometimes things don't go as planned, but that doesn't mean we throw in the towel. It means we fix our boat. We call upon our ancestors and we get back into the water and we go and save our village. So that's not exactly obviously what I have experienced, but that movie was very sort of, that's like that movie is a place in history that I can pinpoint when this discovery was sort of being made by me. And so like I was just, you know, processing that information and just couldn't get through that movie without weeping hysterically, which is hilarious. But you know, and I watched it multiple times. Every time my kids wanted to watch it, I was like, okay, and I would come and I would watch it, and every time. Now I can watch it without weeping hysterically, but that's because that lesson has sort of been internalized, and I feel comfortable with that. So I guess I say all of this to say that this channel, I think the focus is going to be on, I apologize for this analogy, but how the sausage is made, right? I want to bring you through the process of someone who is learning how to develop good habits, someone who is trying to write a play, someone who's trying to develop as an artist and is struggling, but I want to take you through it and to say, this is my struggle. This is what I've been sort of struggling with. This is how I'm fixing things and adjusting things so that I can be successful as an artist, so that I can be successful as a person, as a human living on Earth. But yeah, I know that how the sausage is made is probably not the best visual representation, but it's genuinely how I feel about it. I feel like I want to take you through the ugly parts of the process so that you know what to do when you sort of hit a wall, when you feel like you're stunted in your growth. Because I think we all hit that point, and it's a really hard thing to push through. And if we're not hitting that point, then it probably means you're not even trying, which is an indicator of like a larger problem, right? Where you're probably where I was a few years ago, where, you know, I figured it's like, well, if it's not going to be perfect, or if it's not going to be this, or if it's not going to be exactly what I envisioned, or if it's not going to run smoothly, I'm not even going to try. So yeah, so I wanted to do a very short video, I hope. I mean, we're at 8 minutes already, and I told myself I was going to keep it under 10 minutes, so we're getting close. But I wanted to welcome all of you to join me on this journey of sort of self-discovery, self-growth, and to comment on your journey and talk about your journey. And so I did want to do a call to action of comment below. What is something that you're working on this year? What's something that you're sort of, sort of in the back of your head that it's something that needs to change, that's something that needs to get better, but you haven't done anything about it. And I'm going to welcome you on this journey, and I'm going to ask you to sort of comment below. What are you working on? What problems have you run into? What walls have you hit? And what are some of the things, maybe we could troubleshoot together, what are some of the things that you think are going to help you on that journey? Or maybe you're wondering, like, what should I do, and maybe we can start a community of people that are just, helping each other to reach those goals, to establish good habits, good, healthy, happy, self-care type habits. And that's something that I really want to explore this year. So that's the direction that my channel's heading in right now. And that's very general, but I'm going to try to sort of do different series depending on if it's writing related or depending on if it's healthy habits related. So the thing that might be coming at you in the next week is a morning routine video. My morning routine is by no means perfected at this point. And it was really funny because when I was trying to figure out what direction am I going in, one of the first things that I said to myself was, well, I can't film my morning routine because I have it's not a cemented thing that is the same every day. So I don't feel comfortable sharing it yet because I don't feel like I have it down to a science. But it's like, who cares? It's like, where am I at right now? What's working for me right now? And then that way, when I bring you something maybe 6 months from now that's a morning routine that I feel a little bit better about, I can talk about what changes I made and how I sort of helped myself on that journey to establishing a healthy morning routine and a healthy nighttime routine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so hopefully you're going to come on this journey with me. If you like this video, or if you're excited about this concept, this video concept, please give me a thumbs up. Click to subscribe so that you get notifications when I post. I'm going to be striving to post at least once a week. And I am working on a second channel that will hopefully be geared around theater and theater topics, but specifically starting with the topics that sort of interest me as a playwright slash actor. And I have a lot of ideas for that channel, so I'm really excited. But just to keep up scheduling for both of them, I really kind of have to start in a very realistic place for me. And these are all things that you're going to be hearing moving forward. It's already at 11 and a half minutes. Oh boy, I talk a lot. I'm sorry. I have a lot to say. I love you all. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for following along with my journey, and hopefully you get something out of this. And I will see you next week. Bye.